For most actors, the idea of reading another acting book is pure, unadulterated torture. And I understand, reading acting books can often be quite tedious and difficult, but I really believe that reading great acting books can be so beneficial for actors. Today, I'm going to share some of my all-time favorites with you in the hope that I can encourage you to read some of these amazing acting books. All of these acting books are not only filled with practical tools and techniques, but they're also super inspiring reads. As someone who struggles to read acting books, I genuinely enjoyed all of these, and I think you will too. Let's do it. So I have to start my list with Uta Hagen's classic, Respect for Acting. When I got into drama school, this was the first acting book I read, and I actually had to do a presentation on her ideas to the class. So it's always had a special place in my heart. Uta Hagen is the queen of given circumstances. Simply put, this is the who, what, where, when, why of the scene that you're working on. She outlines how actors can find absolute specificity and bring their performances to life by asking the right questions. Her ideas and her focus on being ultra specific as an actor is something that I love. The book is short, it's clear, and it's full of so many insights on every aspect of the actor's process. A must read. Next up on the list is Audition by Michael Shurtleff. This is such a great book. First time I read it, I just kept being like, yes, so much of this stuff just resonated with me, and I now probably reference it more than any other acting book as a teacher. A few of the aspects are a little bit dated, but the core ideas are absolutely timeless. It's written in a super personal style, and it's really, really easy to read. I actually listened to the audiobook, which I highly recommend if you're not a big reader. The main takeaway for me is to always make strong choices as an actor. Especially when auditioning, we want to avoid those low stakes, neutral choices. Michael encourages us to always be curious and seek out humor, lightness, and opposites in everything that we work on. I love his passion and his focus on creating authentic, varied, and dynamic performances. Just awesome. This next one is quite a niche acting book, focusing specifically on Shakespeare. Playing Shakespeare is written by John Barton, and it accompanies an incredible educational TV series of the same name. Basically, John Barton is the boss. He is the GOAT when it comes to Shakespeare, and this book and the TV series are just full of absolute Shakespearean gold. They also feature some of the all-time best Shakespearean actors, such as Ian McKellen, Judi Dench, and Patrick Stewart, which is pretty cool. This book is obviously super helpful for Shakespearean acting and auditioning, but the principles are really applicable to all areas of acting. For me, the key takeaway is the power of language. This book excited me to fall in love with great writing. As actors, we are the bastions of language, and being curious and passionate about language is one of the cornerstones of being a great actor. Now, partly why I love acting books is not the specific tools or techniques, but the feeling that you're left with after reading. Ivana Chubbuck's The Power of the Actor is one of those books. Chubbuck outlines a super clear 12-step acting technique covering literally every aspect of the acting process. And she does this better than pretty much anyone. It's a great practical book with super crystal clear insights into some of the most important acting tools, such as objectives, inner monologue, beats and actions, and even a section on how to act drunk. She's also very well known for her work on substitution, and this is a really big focus of her teaching. But what I love about Ivana Chubbuck is her energy. She places a huge emphasis on the idea of playing to win. This is the concept of always being the hero or the heroine of the story that you're in, fighting for what you want and making your work important. Chubbuck encourages us to never play the victim within a situation, but instead to work tirelessly towards our character's objective. This is a super powerful book, and I highly recommend it. Finally, Stella Adler, The Art of Acting. I only read this book for the first time a couple of years ago, but for me, it is the most inspiring acting book ever. Stella's personality leaps off the page, and she's so present, you literally feel she might actually call your name out in the class. It really feels that personal. The book is set in an acting class, and there's this really visceral sense of learning. It's unlike anything I've ever read. There are tons of lessons, tips, and tools, but for me, this book goes beyond that. The key takeaway for me was size. She encourages us as actors to be so much more, to be proud of being actors and to be curious humans. She gets us to stand taller, to want to get on stage, to want to work on great scripts and learn about history and just work harder on our craft, and I love it. I think of all the acting books that I've talked about today, this one might just be my favorite. Now, I know that was a nice, clean top 5 list, but I couldn't help myself and I wanted to share one more. This isn't officially an acting book, but I had to mention A Life in Parts by Bryan Cranston, who many of you will recognize from Breaking Bad. This is an awesome book. It's a really engaging story, but it's just layered with so many acting takeaways. Reading acting biographies, I think, is a great thing to do, but normally they're just really focused on the story of the actor. In this book, Bryan is clearly eager to pass on his knowledge and offer some practical advice as well. I honestly learned as much from this book as a normal acting book, so that is why I wanted to include it. Now, if I haven't convinced you to check out these incredible acting books, or you just want to be lazy, check out this video next. It's an awesome video on some amazing acting advice that condenses a lot of the ideas we talked about into one amazing video. Check it out. See you next time. Thanks so much.